uniform.
Oh, is that it? Yeah. Well, he's going to be speaking too? That's all right. Go ahead. Finish your stuff.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
again.
same here.
It's been a while.
Yeah, right. You going to be talking?
No, I'm just going to be looking. I'm the eye candy.
That's,
hello.
This is my part of my
I'm
family.
the eye candy for his talk.
Are you?
Yes.
He married Dick's oldest wife, girl, her oldest daughter.
Oh, okay.
Dick Burnick.
So whose uniform is that?
This is
World War
a
One.
brand new one. World War One.
Oh, it's a brand new one.
Brand new one. It was with the 100th anniversary coming up, which it is now. There are companies starting to remake uniforms.
Really?
For reenactors, because right now in Europe there's all kinds of reenactments going on all the battlefields. But there are very few Americans, of course, because we're not in the war yet.
Yeah.
Not for another year or two, right? When did we go in?
1917.
17. No American people are just starting to buy uniforms. And I was talking to a guy who makes them. He's in Hong Kong, but he's sold a lot of French and German uniforms. The problem is what he doesn't understand is Americans have really big calves, and even though everything fits well, I can barely get around my calf. And I told him that if he's going to have to kind of on some of them make that little larger.
Now is this wool?
This is wool.
That's what I thought. It looked just like wool.
Yeah,
it's
China. Huh? Made in China. Yeah, made in China. Yeah, there you go. And there's an original World War I uniform over there now. And a few other World War I things. And also I brought a poster, which you've probably seen, that World War II poster. That's my dad's image that's on the poster.
Really? On the right?
And on the right is a photo of my dad. He was in the cadet school, and his initials are U.S. Bond.
No.
So urban sealer, and so they took him out of cadet school to go on a war bond tour, and that's where he met my mother.
Oh.
So, and anyway.
That's why you're here.
That's why I'm here. And great-grandpa, he was in the Civil War. I was named after him. He was a corporal. Grandpa was in the Spanish-American War. Of course, Dad in the Second World War, Korean War, and got out during Vietnam.
So they used your dad's face to be that on a poster?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I thought, I better show off.
Well,
and brag,
why not? I mean...
Because I didn't know about it until I was in high school. He never talked about it.
Yeah, they don't. A lot of guys don't.
They don't. It took our uncle to actually sit down and interview.
To my dad. Yeah, they don't like to talk about that. Yeah. It's surprising. But.
And I knew World War I vets, and they didn't talk about it.
Pardon me?
I knew World War I vets.
Yeah.
But they never talked about it. And of course, when I did know them, they looked so old. I just was almost afraid to talk to them, and
Too brittle.
I got one other photo I'll show you.
Okay. That's interesting.
This was at the Veterans Day Parade. We had a small car pulling a float, thank you, veterans. And then these are all uniforms that I own, except for this one and this one.
Where's this taken?
This was up at the VA hospital on November 11th.
In St. Cloud?
In St. Cloud this year. It was real cold that day for the parade.
No.
So we all marched. So these two are original World War I uniforms. And the World War II uniforms, this is Dick Burnick. Right here, this little short guy.
Oh, really?
In his original uniform.
Navy, huh?
Navy, yep.
Yeah.
And Rosie Court, her. Anyway, this is about the only uniform, and this one are the only ones I don't own because I've been kind of collecting uniforms and things.
You could have them made, I suppose.
Oh yeah, right. And I'm having a Revolutionary one made to fit me. The blue one I had made up, but it doesn't fit. Oh. So I've got to try again. But we had 7 members of our family in the Revolutionary War.
Wow.
So I thought, well, maybe I need a Rev War uniform too.
Well, I don't know. We got a good reducing program.
Yeah. Well, some of them I have to shrink down to Roy's size. It's not just weight.
He's pretty thin, all right.
Yeah.
Roy.
Well, he's short too.
He's short. That's right. That's quite interesting.
But anyway, that was our Veterans Day salute.
Ah, look at that.
And then we had signs so everybody knew where they were. Revolutionary War, First World War, Van Allen. The only one we couldn't get this guy didn't fit into anything I had, so he had to wear blue jeans. He was supposed to be Spanish-American War. And he said, what's your shoe size? He said 13. I said, no, I can't help you. I think his pant size was like 54.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So,
That's it.
When does this thing get rolling?
in the next, I would say 5 minutes, it will get
Like
going.
Sergeant
they're gonna
Norris.
start,
These are original then, huh?
Yeah, these are original uniforms. Uniforms.
Oh.
And they weren't very expensive. I mean, you know, online, you know, $60.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
You know, so they're out there. There's some that are a lot more. If you get a famous, you know, if you were in Pershing's outfit with all of the patches, then it's totally different.
Uniforms except this one and this one.
Interesting.
This one
Okay.
and this one. And that's
So
and the attics are making noise.
now is this basically auto club here?
Yeah, this is all autos. Yeah.
All auto club.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sort
All
of.
different kinds of cars, from the earliest Roys to, you know, things that are just 20 years old.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So he's this is basically the auto club here in St. Cloud.
Correct.
Yeah.
We also have a Model 8 club that meets out of my shop.
Oh really?
And then there's a Model T club in town, too.
Oh.
So there's a few specialty things.
How did you get to know Roy's Dick's daughter?
I met her in school in 1971 in Duluth, but we didn't date or go out. We re-met again in about 84.
Oh,
Otherwise, from 71 to 84, we had no clue
really?
what her name was or what,
Really?
you know. We were
I'll be darned.
and all of a sudden we met and we realized we'd been in the same class, and then we realized we had a lot of friends in common.
So what do you do?
I make pottery.
You're
I'm
what?
a potter.
Make pottery?
Right. I used to be an art teacher, but now I'm just a potter.
Is that right?
Just a potter.
Potters
But-
are amazing.
Yeah, well, it keeps me, you know, I'm self-employed, so I can do this.
I went down to Red Wing to a Scottish potter who got his in Scotland, and he was showing how to do that. He was saying, no, there's an actual school for pottery.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, he was telling, making sure we knew that. It is definitely a skill. And it was definitely a skill, especially when I tried to do it. Oh,
It's practice, too. I went to Japan to learn how to do it.
really.
Or, I mean, that's one of the places I studied. And,
Are they ahead of us or anything like that, or different?
well,
Is
they're different in that they have 200 pottery towns in Japan, and each town does a distinct style. If you were a collector, I could put up 150 little cups, and if you were a collector, you could identify each town that each cup came from. Because when you get a mountain and you by train, you're only 6 minutes apart. But 100 years ago, 200 years ago, you were a week up, a week back, and you didn't share secrets because everything, all those different crafts, you kept as a
Quiet.
secret.
Yeah.
So they never learned exactly what you knew, and you never learned what they knew because there are no books written on it. So each town was different.
Interesting. It's kind of like Machu Picchu in Peru, that the towns are distinguished where you're from by the hat.
Hat, by the hat, yep.
Yeah.
Style of
So
pottery.
this is pottery in Japan. Oh, interesting. Wow.
So, and then the person I studied with, became a living national treasure. They have like distinctions. You know, if you're really good, you can, in whatever your skill or craft is, you become a living national treasure or a cultural heritage. He studied with a fellow who was a living national treasure. Then after I left, he was designated a living national treasure. And now his deshi, or his apprentice, who worked with him 7 years, is now a living national treasure. So it carries on the same style, sort of. They vary a little bit, but it's the basic style.
So where do you sell your produce?
Wherever I can.
Do you have a website?
Yeah, but my wife does websites, and mine hasn't been up to date for 10 years, so I don't even look at it.
So you're specialized in the local area?
Yeah, in the local area. I do a lot of things up the North Shore where I might have Sawbill Canoe Outfitters. I did some things for the Buffalo 100th anniversary, Centennial. I've done things for churches and things like that.
So do you have pottery that's like burgundy colored and it's none of that?
No burgundy. Burgundy is a hard color to get.
Or it's got glazed burgundy
Well,
on the outside? Do you glaze
well,
it a couple different color on the inside? I'm just wondering
yeah.
because we were up at 2 Hours Lighthouse and they have pottery cups.
That's not mine. That's that guy's out at Two Harbors. And I can't think of his name, but I haven't been able to get a burgundy glaze. And again, potters don't like to share what they have. The same. I mean,
It's a secret.
You don't tell them everything.
Right. Interesting.
But one thing, going back to the military, last summer I had a chance to travel to France with a few World War II veterans and their children and grandchildren. So 55 people went to France. And they were all part of a group called the 442, which is the Japanese-American group that fought in the Second World War. They were taken out of internment camps and formed a company, and then fought over in France, and they were the highest decorated group in the Second World War. So I got to travel with 3 of the veterans and their children, which were my age or older, and some of their nieces and nephews. And we visited battlefields and cemeteries. And one of the graves we visited was Sinclair Lewis's son was in that company and was killed over in France. So we visited his grave.
Really?
And then this spring I'll go to Italy for 10 days and we'll visit more battlefields this spring.
Wow. The dead could come to life.
Yep. Anyway,
Wow, interesting.
and I'm just,
Got you texting.
I didn't realize that how interesting this was when I was in high school. I was always interested in it, but I never knew you could write books and make a living and do everything else with your interests.
Sure.
You hear me now?
So it's too
Bring
late.
a chair over here.
Well,
Yes.
I'll sit up there.
All right, good.